This is the L2C Media Network, and this is a very late edition of the Sports Final, brought to you by the LC Media Network and William Hill Sportsbooks. Let's make it interesting. Now, with the details that makes the headlines in the world of sports go round, here's Steve, the Baxman Baxter. Hi, everybody. Welcome to a very solemn edition a very solemn edition of Sports Final. We will get a tribute to our good friend, Mr. Eddie Farhat Jr. in a moment. I'm going to try to hold it together. Plus, we got an update on What the Wizard, Portal of Echoes, and Eternal Armor. All that and a lot more. And as you can see, we are very much sanitized for your protection. That's right. I got Uno here. He doesn't try to bite me for lunch. Anyway. Let's get going, folks, because we got a lot to do, and we'll try to bring you everything. So here we go. Let's get started with some headlines and then get with some of the scores. And here we go. And in the NBA, well, they're still going, but some things have happened. Some things changed. We knew that once they were smelling playoffs, teams would start to change. Well, the LA Clippers are trading former number 27 overall pick Mfiondu Kabengele to the Sacramento Kings, according to Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN. The Kings will also get cash from the Clippers, and the two teams will swap heavily protected second-round picks. The Kings absorbed Kabengele into a trade exception that would have expired today. The motivation for the Clippers is transparent. By signing Serge Ibaka with the non-taxpayer mid-level this offseason, the Clippers hard cap themselves at the apron, meaning they cannot spend more than $139,928,000 on player salaries for any reason. Entering Monday, they had only around $50,000 in room beneath that hard cap that made bigger deadline trades almost impossible and would have restricted them on the buyout market. Now they have roughly $2.6 million in space to work with, along with an extra roster spot. They now have only 13 players on the team, so they could sign 2 veterans for a minimum if they don't make any more trades. Now the Kings, meanwhile, get a look at a young player who hadn't had a chance to play much on a contending Clippers team in 2 seasons. He's logged only 158 minutes of playing time across 35 appearances. In college, he looked like exactly the sort of athletic shot-blocking center that the Kings needed. Now they can give him playing time down the stretch of a lost season and see if he's capable of playing a role for them next season. The Clippers declined his third-year option, though. Oops. That's right. So Kevin Gale will be a free agent this offseason. Again, oops. Now, this isn't a blockbuster by any stretch of the imagination, but the Clippers aren't the sort of team to give up a former first round pick for no reason. They likely have plans for that extra flexibility they've created. We'll see what they're going to do with it in the coming days. And, wow, the NBA lost a true legend of the sport, and we will get that story for you as well today. Well, in more NFL news, or in NFL news, Russell Wilson back in the news. That's right. Now, while he remains unsigned, Antonio Brown does not appear to be worried about his current situation. The former All-Pro receiver exuded confidence when asked whether or not he'll be back with the Bucs for the 2021 season. Brown also spoke on behalf of running back Leonard Fournette, who is also still on the open market after joining the Buccaneers last season. Now, both Brown and Fournette scored touchdowns in Tampa Bay's 31-9 victory over the Chiefs in Super Bowl Double Five. Tampa went 7-0 with Fournette in the starting lineup last season. The Bucs went 4-0 with Brown, who caught 53 of 74 targets for 564 yards and 6 touchdowns in 11 total games last season. In the starting lineup, he was. Now, while Brown and Fournette may ultimately re-sign with Tampa, John Clayton of ESPN Radio recently told 93.7 The Fan in Pittsburgh that Russell Wilson is still trying to get the Seahawks to sign Brown. Wilson publicly lobbied for Seattle to sign Brown before the Buccaneers ultimately signed him 6 weeks into the 2020 season. Brown and Wilson worked out together last offseason. Interesting. Excuse me, I had a little kafun in my throat. The Buccaneers and Seahawks would both be ideal situations for Brown. While he still proved to be a highly effective player last year, Brown should not be considered the number one option on a team with Super Bowl aspirations. He's a perfect number 3 receiver. However, a fact that was reinforced during the Buccaneers championship run, Brown's presence last season helped open things up for teammates Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Rob Gronkowski, as well as Scotty Miller. Brown also embraced his spot as a role player while not making himself a distraction during his first year in Tampa. Now in Seattle, Brown could help complement DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, who combined to catch 183 passes for 2,537 yards and 20 touchdowns last season. Brown would also help replace David Moore, Seattle's former number 3 receiver, who recently signed with the Panthers. Furthermore, Seattle signing Brown would surely help improve the relationship between Wilson and the franchise, a relationship that could certainly use some mending before the start of this upcoming season. Wow. We speak on kind of truth. Purpose. Okay, in boxing, oh boy. Well, we knew this one would happen, but we didn't think it would hit this much and or hurt this much. Gervonta Davis, the 2-division champion, who was one of boxing's rising stars, was indicted Monday in the Circuit Court of Baltimore, Maryland, on 14 counts of various traffic violations related to a hit-and-run crash last fall. The 26-year-old native of Baltimore was involved in a crash in the early morning hours of November 5th on Martin Luther King Boulevard after reportedly celebrating his birthday at a downtown club. Now, among the 14 charges, Davis has been cited for failure to remain at the scene of an accident involving bodily injury, failure to render assistance to an injured person, and driving with both a suspended and revoked license. All are considered misdemeanors in Maryland, with the most serious carrying up to a year in jail. Court documents from the Baltimore City State Attorney's Office reported that Davis, who was driving a 2020 Lamborghini Urus, ran a red light at 1:47 a.m. Eastern and struck the front passenger side of a 2004 Toyota Solara. Video from a nearby convenience store saw Davis's car collide into the store fence and become disabled. Witness accounts and video gathered during the investigation also showed that a black Camaro arrived at the scene shortly after the crash before passengers began transferring items from the Lamborghini to the Camaro. Davis and an unidentified female were also captured on camera fleeing the scene in the Camaro. The Solara's airbags deployed and the vehicle was destroyed, according to the report. The 4 occupants of the car were transported to the University of Maryland Shock Trauma as a result of the crash, with Gil Emerald, an attorney for the injured driver, telling the Baltimore Sun his client suffered fairly serious injuries that have complicated the recovery. Leaving the scene of a crash can result in a felony charge punishable by up to 5 years in prison, but only for a crash which produces serious injury. Now, Davis, 24-0, 23 knockouts, currently holds the WBA super featherweight title and the WBA regular lightweight title. The fighter known as Tank recently headlined his first pay-per-view, scoring a spectacular 6-round knockout of Leo Santo Cruz in San Antonio less than a week before the accident. Wow. Okay, more NFL news, and whoa, what can we say for this? But whoa, no, we don't want that. You know what we want? We want the other report. Here we go, Bob. Okay, boom. Well, if Deshaun Watson's if it weren't for bad luck, Deshaun Watson would have no luck at all. The Texan star shall we say, in a toilet of trouble. A lawyer in Texas has filed 13 separate civil lawsuits that are all alleging sexual misconduct against Deshaun Watson. The lawsuits were filed by Houston attorney Tony Busby, who has entered them into court on behalf of multiple clients, all claiming that Watson committed at least one act of sexual misconduct or assault against them. The suits are all similar in nature in each case. Watson is accused of acting inappropriately after hiring a female to give him a private massage. Now, after Watson was hit with his third lawsuit, which came on March 18th, the NFL confirmed to CBS Sports that the league has opened an investigation against the Texans quarterback to see if he violated the NFL personal conduct policies. And here are the latest details on the allegations. Do we really have to read these? Well, we read them once before, so we don't need to read them again. Except for the updated one here. Now, although Watson isn't currently facing any criminal charges, that could change. Busby claimed on March 19th that police in Houston have reached out to him to find out about any possible crimes that have been committed. However, Houston police say they are unaware of any contact between the department and Busby. Although it's not clear if contact has been made, Busby says he plans to cooperate with authorities, and he also said during his March 19th press conference that he plans to put a packet together for police that will detail each incident. The lawyer also added that filing a police report will be part of his next step. Now, even though it doesn't appear that the police are involved yet, Busby has said he would like to see a grand jury convened so it can look at the evidence and decide whether Watson should be charged. And more of this madness continues. Okay, back with more headlines. Now we have a little NFL before we hit the NC2 Alpha and other scores and everything else. A rare blooper of an error by the NFL leads the Patriots getting awarded an extra pick in this year's draft. That's right, the New England Patriots got some good news over the weekend, and that news came in the form of an extra pick in this year's NFL draft thanks to a little small error by the NFL. The Patriots picked up an extra fifth-round pick, which is 177th overall. Now, it's not often the NFL makes a mistake when benefactors. If you're wondering how a team can magically receive an extra pick in the draft, it all comes down to compensatory picks. Now, NFL hands out 32 picks, and although the exact formula the league uses to award comp picks hasn't been released by the league, we do know that it basically boils down to this. A team that loses more high-impact free agents than it acquires in a previous year is eligible to receive compensatory draft picks. Now, the NFL uses a complicated formula to determine comp picks, and apparently the formula is so complicated that even the NFL was briefly confused by it. When compensatory picks were originally handed out on March 10th, the Patriots were given two, including the highest one possible, a third-rounder for losing Tom Brady. Now, the Patriots should have been given three compensatory picks on March 10th, and the NFL admitted to that little faux pas in a statement. Quote, the inclusion of a 33rd compensatory selection in this year's draft resulted from a correction by the Management Council to the calculation of average yearly compensation, end quote, the league told MassLive.com. With the Patriots getting a pick, that means a few things had to be shuffled around, and the biggest loser after that happened was the Falcons, who saw one of their compensatory picks drop down 2 spots. Now, what all this means is that the Patriots will now be going into the draft with 10 picks instead of 9. Of course, the Patriots could have literally a total of 11, but they had to forfeit a third-round pick as part of their punishment for illegally taping the Bengals during the game in December 2019. So, there you go. Happy, annoy. Okay, it is time for us to give you the reason you're all here tonight, and that is, let's go dancing. Yes, indeed. Time for us to go dancing, and so we dance in happiness and joy. Let's take you to it. All the events, I guess we might as well say it, all of them are in Indianapolis. And with that said, let's go to it. 7th-seeded Oregon beat 2nd-seeded Iowa 95-80. Number 1 seed Gonzaga over 8th-seeded Oklahoma 87-71. 11th-seeded UCLA over 14th-seeded Abilene Christian. Nick Mantis, I hate to give you this bad news. 67-47. UCLA advances. 5th-ranked Creighton bludgeoned 13th-seeded Ohio 72-58. Michigan, the top Bow Wows, defeated 8th-seeded LSU by a score of 86-78. Florida State, 4th-seeded, defeated 5th-seeded Colorado 71-53. 2nd-seeded Alabama, yet they were Alabama bound. 2nd-seeded Alabama defeated 10th-seeded Maryland 96-77. 6th-ranked USC defeated number 3rd ranked Kansas 85-74. to 51. Ooh. And that is that. So, where does this put the bracket? Who knows? But now we go from the men to the ladies. That's right. We go straight to the ladies as they began their tournament in beautiful San Antonio, Texas. So, let's see. Let's go to the first round of the ladies, and it goes like this. 7th ranked Alabama over 10th ranked North Carolina, 80-71. 3rd ranked Georgia over 14th ranked Drexel, 67-53. 11th ranked BYU over 6th ranked, 8th ranked, excuse me. Nope, that's 6th ranked. 6th ranked Rutgers, 69 to 66. 3rd ranked Arizona, 79-44 winner over 14th seeded Stony Brook. 13th seeded Wright Street over 14th seed Arkansas, 66-62. 4th seeded Indiana over 13th seeded VCU, 63-52. 12th seeded Belmont over 5th seeded Gonzaga, 64-58. 2nd ranked Maryland over 15th seeded Mount St. Mary's, 96-45. 7th seeded Northwestern, a 62-51 winner over the University of Central Florida, 62-51. 7th seeded Iowa State upset 10th seeded Michigan State by a score of 78-75. It was a close, I will agree. 2nd seeded Texas A&M overtook Troy. 15th seed got only 80 points to Texas A&M's 84. Mystery Street. Yes, friends, can you tell me how to get to Misery State? Simple. You beat 12th seeded UC Davis team, and they did, 70-51. 2nd seed Louisville over 15th seed Marcus, 74-43. 6th seeded Texas over 11th seeded Bradley, 81-62. Okay, more goings over. You got it. Oregon over 6th ranked Oregon over 11th ranked South Dakota, 6-7-4-7. 3rd ranked UCLA sawing a few words. Let's see, Oregon. UCLA defeated 14th seed Wyoming, 69-48. Massachusetts over Ohio, 95-71. Drake over Bowling Green, 78-68. Houston, we don't have a problem much. Arizona State did pretty good too, but Houston came out the winner, 50-48. UT Martin over Illinois State, 64-59. Delaware over Villanova, 77-70. Rice over California Baptist, 79-55. Old Miss over Colorado, 65-56. And UNI beat up Santa Luisa. There you go. And we got more. I want to remind you, Nick Rikita will have his little item du jour known as the show tonight on YouTube. And tonight's Rikita Law explaining the interwebs broadcast is Project Veritas detention tents and lawsuits And that's not enough. A DC judge hates defamation laws. Ooh. It's all tonight on the Ricada Law Network here on YouTube. As um, Nick Ricada and his guest try to outdo the monkey. Monkeys are supposed to be intelligent. That's right. But Project Veritas, detention tents, lawsuits, and the DJ judge hates hate. So that three. Okay, well, three subjects. They're going to have a good one. Please join Ricada Law midnight Eastern to 3 a.m. here on YouTube. And as I live and breathe so heavily beyond, ladies and gents, fa la 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 la. Anywho, where are we? Oh, we're live. We're live streaming. Yeah, we're doing this. So watch our humble friend, our humble Minnesota attorney, Nick Ricada, and his guest as they try to law-splain the interwebs to all of us. I'm law-splaining the interwebs tonight at midnight. It's about 31 minutes into the show, so there you go. Are we ready again? You better believe we are. What are we doing, you may ask? Well, simple. I'm trying not to I'm trying to maintain stability, and works very good. So let's get back to where we were when we last left you for a little brochette of a break. So let's go on, because we got a lot more scores and a lot more things to talk about as we continue, as we babble incoherently at 12:32. Okay, so we've done the NC double alphas. Let us get to some pro basketball for you. And hopefully we can do that. Then some NHL action. Then we'll, of course, give you some soccer scores and then baseball scores and scores from every other place around the world. And we'll wrap it all oopski. So if you're ready, I know I'm ready. Let's give you the NBA on a great evening. So where's the NBA scores? Right there. And we had, I'm not going to say a full night of action, but still it was enough to make everyone feel happy and contented. There we go. Like, for example, Sacramento Kings over the Cleveland Cavaliers, 119-108. Oklahoma City Thunder, 112. Minnesota Timberwolves, 103. Charlotte Hornets, 100. San Antonio Spurs, 9-7. Houston Rockets beat a 20-game losing, or beat 20-game losing streak with a huge win over the Raptors, 117-99. Utah Jazz, a 120-95 victory over the Chi-Town Bulls. In overtime, Memphis Grizzlies over the Boston. Oh, Lordy. Memphis Grizzlies over the Boston Celtics, 132-126. Milwaukee Bucks over the Indiana Pacers, 140-113. And the LA Clippers beat up on the Atlanta Hawks, 119-110. There is your NBA score of a bubble. Now, let's get over from the hardwood to The hard ice. That's right. And a very loose day, or maybe not a loose day. A very loose day in the realm of hockey. And let's give you the scores right now. Still early on in the game, in the third period, San Jose Sharks lead the LA Kings 2-1. And some final scores: New York Rangers over the Buffalo Sabres 5-3. Fox for Rangers, 1 goal, 2 assists. Kreider for the Rangers, 3 goals. And Panarin for the Rangers, 3 assists. Carolina Hurricanes over the Columbus Blue Jackets. They blanked them 3-0. Nedeljkovic, Carolina, 19 saves. Owl of Carolina, 2 assists. Fast for Carolina, 1 goal, 1 assist. There you go. On that fun-filled fiesta. Meanwhile, the Ottawa Senators beat Calgary Flames 2-1. Gustafsson for Ottawa, 36 saves. Watson for Ottawa, 1 assist. Hanifin for Calgary, no word. And in overtime, New York Islanders over the Philadelphia Flyers, 2-1. Sorokin for the Islanders, 36 saves. Bielveleb, New York Islanders, 1 goal. And for the Phillies, for the Flyers, it was Lindblom, 1 goal. Minnesota Wild over the Not So Mighty Ducks, 2-1. Broden for Minnesota. Zujstad for Minnesota, 1 goal. Suger for Minnesota, 1 goal. Winnipeg Jets over the Canucks by a wild score of 4-0. Anyway, let's keep going here. Jets over the Canucks 4-0. Hellebuyck for Winnipeg, 22 saves. Lowry for Winnipeg, 2 goals. And Wheeler for Winnipeg, 1 goal. Golden Knights of Vegas took it to the St. Louis Blues 5-1. Kolesar for Vegas, 1 goal. Stone for Vegas, 2 goals, 1 assist. And Marchessault for Vegas, 1 goal, 1 assist. Avalanche over the Coyotes, way over the Coyotes, 5-1. Rantanen for Colorado, 1 goal. McKinnon for Columbus, 1 assist. And Ekman-Larsson for Arizona, 1 goal. Oilers and Canadiens postponed. There you go, ladies and gents. There you go. I gotta stretch, but we keep going till 1 o'clock in the morning. Ba 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 ba. Good morning to wackadoo dee dee doo. Okay, let's give you the interesting bulletin from the AHL, the American Hockey League. So, here we go. Well, let me just scratch the head here. And let's get to the scores from the AHL tonight, if there are any. And we're doubting any one of that. But here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We drive fast and they drive slow. Here we go. Here we go. Go, go. Yeah, baby. Alrighty, let's go to it from Monday. The Rockford Ice Hogs beat the Iowa Wild by a score of 6-1, and that was the only game scheduled for tonight. Tonight. There you go. Okay, let's take you from the weirdness of hockey to the fun and merriment of of hockey, otherwise known as football. That's right, football. And like I said, we got a lot to do, so we're going to make it count. That's right. Let's go to the Monday section, the Australian A-League, and they're the only ones that were playing tonight. Melbourne over Central Coast, 2-0 in the Australian A-League. Wow. That is strangely celebratorial. Okay. CBS, former CBS and ESPN sports person. Here we go. Now, with the NC2A men's and women's basketball tournaments well underway, CBS Sunday Morning aired a feature on the surge of sports betting during March Madness. And among the people, correspondent Luke Burbank spoke to about the growing popularity and mainstream acceptance of sports gambling was Brett Musburger. Musburger has always acknowledged betting in his broadcasting work, but has arguably become the sports media voice of sports gambling with his work for Vegas Stats and Information Network, otherwise known as VSIN, as betting reaches greater prominence throughout the country. Quote, take a look around these casinos, okay? They ain't getting any smaller. Of course not. Last week, North Carolina joined the 20 states, along with Washington, D.C., that allow some form of sports gambling. The report nodded to Musburger's past career with CBS with archival footage and his role in introducing sports betting to viewers. But his appearance in the feature provided a bit of nostalgia for longtime fans and viewers who watched Musburger rise to prominence, broadcasting play-by-play, anchoring studio coverage for the network. Generations of football fans grew up with Musburger as the face of the NFL on CBS. Burbank also talked to a few gamblers at a Vegas casino about how frequently they bet, their success, and best bets for a tournament. He also highlighted the revenues that legalized sports betting has created for states such as Colorado, which has generated millions of dollars from gambling to fund water projects. Now, Musburger advised caution to people wanting to jump into sports betting for more than fun, especially younger people who think they might get rich. But he also dismissed those who look down on gambling as representing a seedier side of society. Said Musburger in the piece, quote, listen, when the country was founded, they took a chance. I mean, they came across the ocean. They didn't know what the hell was at the other end. It was founded by speculators. It was founded by guys who gambled with their family's life. I never heard that spoke so well. If you want to see it, it's on CBS's, it's on the streaming site known as Paramount Plus, formerly CBS All Access. Okie dokers. Steve Kerr is a little angry that NBC Sports Bay Area writer Drew Schiller made it seem like Kerr took a shot at Kevin Durant. Uh-oh. That's right. At Monday's press conference, Golden State Warrior head coach Steve Kerr took exception to a Twitter post from NBC Sports Bay Area writer Drew Schiller. In fact, Kerr said he was angry at what Schiller posted. Schiller tweeted that in a podcast interview with Logan Murdoch, Kerr revealed that he enjoyed the 2019-2020 season where the Warriors went 15-50 more than their 2018-2019 season where they lost to the Raptors in the NBA Finals. Now, that wasn't Kerr's issue. His issue was that Schiller prefaced that 2019-2020 season by saying it was Kevin Durant's final season with the Warriors, end quote, insinuating that Kerr preferred a COVID-interrupted 15-50 season over a season where they went to the NBA Finals simply due to Durant's performance. Kerr took great issue with that connotation and took upon himself to set the record straight. And he did. Kerr pointed out from the start that it was more enjoyable from a coaching standpoint. And to hear him explain, he enjoyed it more because he was coaching a younger team. That makes sense for a coach, coaching a younger team that might need more hands-on coaching and is eager to learn. While they were losing a bunch of games, it was probably more enriching for Kerr than when he was, as he said, dealing with the stress of a 5-year run where the Warriors made the finals each year. At the end of his article on NBC Sports Bay Area, Schiller revealed, also, I want to make it clear that Kerr didn't specifically mention Durant during his comments. He simply referred to that last year/season. This after he rehashed the issues of that 2018-2019 season between Durant and Kerr after having Durant initials in the headline and after having Durant's name in the tweet that linked to the article. Now, this isn't a situation where someone is struggling to convey the proper context within 280 or so characters. This was a bad attempt at clickbait by Schiller to connect the drama of Durant's departure from Golden State to Kerr saying he enjoyed a 15-50 season more because Durant was so horrible to coach. Yeah, it's true that it was Durant's final season. Maybe it's true the two of them didn't get quite chummy. What Schiller wrote about Durant in Golden State may have been accurate, but that wasn't the place to shoehorn that into a rather innocuous conversation that had nothing to do with Durant. Kerr is, of course, right. It was irresponsible and damaging, and it was important for him to get that out to the public so sports talk radio and debate shows can talk about Kerr's response to Schiller's post instead of what Schiller posted, and things really spiraled out of control. For what it's worth, Durant responded to Schiller's tweet with, "This is hilarious." And it is, from any standpoint you can think of. Okay, and if you thought the NFL's big new broadcast deal was wild, wait till you hear this. The NBA is thinking of doing the same thing. That's right. Take this with a very significant grain of salt, but the NBA reportedly has its sights set on extraordinary. Let's try that again. Take this with a very significant grain of salt, but the NBA reportedly has its sights set extraordinarily high when its existing TV deals expire after the 2024-2025 season. Per Jabari Young of CNBC, the NBA will be looking to increase its annual payment from $2.6 million and a total of $24 billion over the life of its contracts to between $7 and $8 billion annually and $75 billion in total. This seems unlikely. For one, as Sports Media Watch points out, this would mean that assuming the NBA doesn't divvy up its national TV packages even further, than any TV partners would end up paying more for the NBA than they're paying for the NFL. ESPN is paying roughly $2.7 billion per year to the NFL in its new TV deal, doubling their current NBA rights fee, reportedly $1.4 per year. That's billion. Will put the NBA and the NFL on the same level of ESPN in terms of fees, and that would still be short of the reported goal of $7 billion plus per season per same report. Turner pays $1.2 billion per year. Furthermore, it's not as if ESPN has money burning a hole in its pocket. The company agreed to a huge deal with the NHL through 2028 that will run $400 million per season. ESPN's deal with the college football playoff runs through the 2025 season and reportedly runs more than $600 million per year. The network is also reportedly going to get a new deal done with Major League Baseball, though it'll pay $550 million per season, less than the $700 million per year it currently does. And yes, while most of those contracts expire shortly after the NBA deal ends, that doesn't mean that ESPN can or will conjure up an extra $2 billion for the NBA at the expense of other properties. However, you're the NBA, you might as well aim high. What's the worst thing that could happen? Potential bidders laugh at you and you start lower? It's called negotiations. Now, it's important to remember how much sports media and media in general, the landscape can change in a short period of time. Years ago, we were so focused on existing tech companies, Netflix, Amazon, and Hello Facebook, getting sports rights, that we didn't even think about existing networks launching streaming services and moving live games to those services for the extra scratch. Now, given how much credit the NBA gets for innovation, it would not surprise me if there's a significant streaming or digital component to their next TV deals, which will theoretically help bump the price up even more. But by that point, whatever we're thinking of as the next big innovation might be standard in sports right deals, and the NBA's game breaker is something we haven't even thought of yet. All right. Let's get to the Baba, we're going to say hello to my Facebook friends. Hello to those of you on Gab Social, on Twitch, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Minds, on YouTube. Of course, on, as we said, Instagram, and if that's not enough, TikTok. So we say that with a hello and a hearty hi there. Okay, let's kick it into gear. We want to make sure we got time for it. So let's give you the scoreboard. By the way, the scoreboards are always sponsored by William Hill Scorebook or William Hill Sportsbook. So here we go. Face to face and bonos to bonos. We got basketball and baseball to give you, so let's give it to you before we do our one final word. In basketball, in Europe, in the Euro Cup playoffs, Onsis Kazan over Lokomotiv Kuban 94-88. In hockey, Sweden, Malmo, after overtime, Oxgraham over Malmo 3-2. That's right. In Czech Republic, in the Extra Liga playoffs, Liberec over Montfield 3-0, and Mladi Bolsav over Pardubice 4-2. In Major League Baseball spring training, it is that time again. Let's do it good. Houston Astros 5, New York Mets 4, Miami Marlins 7, St. Louis Cardinals 2. Minnesota Twins, a 4-2 winner over the Atlanta Braves. The Pittsburgh Pirates beat the Baltimore Orioles 6-5. Boston Red Sox beat the Tampa Bay Rays 10-4. Chicago White Sox over the San Francisco Giants 7-2. Milwaukee Brewers pasted the Cleveland Indians 6-3. Kansas City Royals and San Diego Padres ended up in a 9-9 tie. Oakland Athletics and the Arizona Cardinals ended up in a 4-4 tie. Colorado Rockies 5-4 winners over the Texas Rangers. Los Angeles Angels 15-7 winner over the Chicago Cubs. Philadelphia Phillies over the New York Yankees for love or 4-0. Toronto Blue Jays over the Detroit Tigers 4-3. Seattle Mariners over the Los Angeles Dodgers. Yes, friends, 7-3 in South Korea preseason. Here we go. Hanwha Eagles over the Doosan Bears, 12-5. KT Wiswang over the LG Twins, 9-3. What a way we make a living. Lottie Giants, a 10-3 winner over the SSG Landers. Kia Tigers over the NC Dinos, 7-0. Samsung Lions, the Kowloon Heroes, ended in a 5-5 tie. Now for the games that are still going in progress. Fourth inning, Samsung Lions over the Kowloon Heroes by a score of 1-0. Kia Tigers in the third lead the NC Dinos 6-0. In the fourth, SSG Landers 2-0 uh 2-0 little slap in the face of the Lottie Giants. LG Twins over KT Wiz Swan 2-0, and the Doosan Bears over the Hanwha Tigers 1-0. Okay, we got the information. We got our update. We did not do this last night because of time, but now we got time. Wart the Wizard, Portal of Echoes has made thus far $7,835. They are 9,218 away from tying the original Wart the Wizard, which in all total 17,053. So if they're going to, as I say, tap it by 200, it's either got to be 17,253 or I'm going big on this one, 18,000, but we'll see what happens. They are, like I said, 9,218, but I'm going to call it, I'd say 10,000. There you go. Okay, are we ready? Aben Dubin Dobin Deben? Okay, and Eternal Armor from Wyatt Holiday, 5360, 5,360. Big old Bucky Wucks. Okay, we got 4 minutes remaining on our broadcast, and I'm going to take this moment to say farewell to an old friend. For those of you that haven't been with us, we didn't get a chance to do our 4 o'clock update, but now we do. And we were told this afternoon, a good guy, good friend of ours, and he did a lot for me and Jay and all of us wrestling fans tonight. We say fond adieu to a good friend, wrestling promoter, and all-around good egg, former wrestler, and the final son, and along with his brother Tom, they were known as the Sons of the Sheik. Eddie Farhat Jr. passed away today at the age of 71. And we end our broadcast tonight with a thought. And here it is. The world of pro wrestling is a family. And today we lost a member of that family. The last of the sons has been called to join his brother Tom and their parents, Ed and Joyce. But you might know Tom and Eddie's parents as the legendary Hall of Famer, the Sheik, and his valet, Joyce. Eddie Farhat Jr. and his brother Tom were born into the wrestling industry. They were sons of the Sheik, obviously. A legacy that began in the 50s and was reborn for a new generation of wrestling fans in the beginning of the new millennium, the 2000s. The man who went by Captain Ed George would be an interesting wrestler. He may not have won the big titles, but he had a lot of heart. His brother Tom would be behind the scenes or in the ring as needed, like as a referee in aspect and respect. When in early 2002, after a hiatus of more than 20 years, Eddie and Tom announced that Big Time Wrestling would be coming home, and the studio tapings would be at WLAJ on 5815 South Penny, or South Pennsylvania. When the announcement was made and when people came, you would have thought the Pope was coming. And wrestling fans old and new would come down on frequent Saturday mornings and a few Saturday nights to witness pro wrestling and meet the wrestlers following the matches. or even at the halftime. Of course, I was more into the behind the scenes look and the wrestlers. After all, I wore the helmet and outfit like crybaby George Cannon. I also dressed like Taz, dark shades, a little goatee, cheesy suit, and an attitude. That's right. They even at the live events from places such as Walter French High School in Lansing, the Optimist Ice Arena in Jackson, to arenas in places from Albion, Adrian, all the way to Grand Rapids and beyond. The fans would go and witness a legacy of pure pro wrestling for about as much as maybe a cup of coffee. Their ticket prices were excellent. And on a personal note, me and Jay were given the rare treat of all treats during a couple of events at Cooter's Campground. One event at the campground, Jay the Brain Man was a referee for Battle Royale. And I was given at another Cooter's Campground event, I was given the thrill of being not only a ring announcer, but a co-commentator with Eddie Farhat. And of course, me and Jay didn't do too bad at the duties we were given. You could say we were pretty good. The legacy of the Farhats gave all of us a thrill and a lot of memories. From the unknown commentator, Paco Zimmer, Medicine, Shafee, to Kevin Sullivan, the Richard Burton of pro wrestling. His promos were like the ultimate storytelling. The unforgettable Balls Mahoney stopped by for a while. Devin Storm, among others. New folks from Monty Brown, Frank Stein, the Diamond Kid, Randy West, Shauna Doyle, Jimmy Jacobs, Tim Horner, Rosticon, Truth Martini, Hot Stuff Anthony Rivera, Sabbath, Harlem Jackson, among others. And we even had La Felina as a part of the events. And I mean, those television studio tapings were packed to the rafters. And, well, while the TV studio was mothballed, it is now a medical marijuana dispensary. I can still smell a bit of, I could still smell a waft of Sabu's fireballs. I mean, it was a wrestling fan's dream. And for all of us, it made us feel good to be a participant. And I mean, they had other people there as well. And I will tell you this: the action was fantastic. Eddie, I want to thank you for the laughs, the action, the excitement, the matches, the thrill of seeing Sabu take flight in studio and in arenas as well. And thank you for breaking the vault that imprisoned my creative side and made it flow. I got to do things I never thought I could do. You made the fans feel like a part of the action. So on behalf of myself, Jay the Brain Man, Paradise, Little Sabu, Angie, Annie, Yuki Tanaka, my mother Sharon, and every wrestling fan in mid-Michigan and beyond, you left this mortal coil and soil way too soon. But your family's legacy lives on in every independent wrestling organization and promotion, not just in Michigan, but around the USA. And from a guy whose claim to fame was always showing up at TV tapings, bringing signs, and wearing an army helmet or dressing like Taz, Bray Wyatt, and others, Thank you for all you and your brother did to continue a legacy started by the Sheik and Joyce. And as you begin a new journey led by the hand of God, you will be met by your brother Tom and your parents, and you will be at heaven's own Madison Square Garden getting ready to promote the hell out and be a part of the ultimate wrestling card. Rest in paradise, Captain Ed. Rest in paradise. Thank you all for watching. From everybody here, good night and thank you for tuning in.